Thank you for coming. Hello, hello. Okay, 1 minute, 25 seconds. Welcome to Victory Yay. Welcome to my live stream. Today I have a Boston Celtics, Toronto Raptors lineup because today the Toronto Raptors won game 6 and now they're tied in their playoff series. So the Boston Celtics and the Toronto Raptors are in a tie and they're going to play a game 7. So, point guard I have Marcus Smart, who's a point guard in this game. You rarely see him, so I wanted to use Marcus Smart. And then Jaylen Brown as shooting guard. Those are two Season 3 cards. And then small forward, OG Anunoby, Toronto Raptors. Pascal Siakam. This is the regular Pascal Siakam, not the elf. And then Marcus Gasol at center. I have Toronto Raptors jerseys, Boston Celtic jerseys, and Kyrie Irving court from Season 3. So 3 Toronto Raptors and 2 Boston Celtic players. Now we're going to play against Facebook friends. And hurry up autoplay and I'll see who came. Thank you for coming. My opponent has Dallas Maverick jerseys in court. And I have Toronto Raptors jerseys. The black and a little bit of red jerseys that look really nice right now. My opponent scores. Now Marcus Smart has those green shoes because he is a Boston Celtic. Tries to shot but gets blocked. But Jaylen Brown gets the ball back. Tries to lay out but gets blocked. But Anunoby gets the rebound. Makes the shot. Pretty nice for autoplay. Pretty nice. Luka Doncic with the ball. I'm going to check see who came. Thank you for coming. Hello, Fat God Door. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And Clarence KD, thank you for coming. Jaylen Brown with the ball. Magic Johnson with a shot. Makes a 3-point shot, Magic Johnson. Marcus Smart with the ball. Marcus Smart with the ball. Gives the ball to Pascal Siakam. Jaylen Brown with the ball. Misses that shot, unfortunately. Now he also has a Jaylen Brown. So 2 Jaylen Browns going up against each other. Marcus Smart with the ball. Now, these are the cards I have on my team. I did not go and spend any coins on them because that's a waste of coins. But this is the team that I have. But we're going to talk a little bit about tonight's game on ESPN. I'm going to go and check the box score. Tonight was a very close game. It was a classic game. It went to 2 overtimes. It was an overtime thriller. On ESPN, their front page is a Kyle Lowry drains a clutch fadeaway late in 2 overtimes. Now the other game, the Clippers defeated the Denver Nuggets, so they're leading 3-1. So it looks like the Clippers are going to win easily. And the Clippers are a better team, of course. So that's not a huge surprise. Let's play against my opponent. Now, looking at the box score, Kyle Lowry had 33 points. And of course, if you go online, everybody's talking about him. He shot the ball 20 times and made 12 shots. He shot the ball, shot 3-pointers 10 times, made 3-pointers 6 times. And he made 3 free throws out of 4. 6 assists. And a total of 8 rebounds. So he was the star of the game. Now, Pascal Siakam was the best player on the Toronto Raptors. He had only 12 points. And he shot the ball poorly. He shot 19 times and only made 5 shots. And he was 0-5. And he did not make one single 3-point shot. He shot the 3-point shot 5 times and missed them all. OG Anunoby was one of my cards right now. One of the players I'm playing. He had only 13 points. Marcus Gasol is also one of the cards I have. He has only 8 points. Fred VanVleet shot the ball very poorly. Shot the ball 22 times and only made it 7 times. Shot the 3-point shot 13 times, only made it 3 times, but he had 21 points. Now let's look at the Toronto Raptors bench. Norman Powell was a shooting guard. He had 23 points off the bench. So he played quite well. And Serge Ibaka only had 13 points off the bench, which is quite good. Only 4 players. DTW, the baller. Thank you for coming. I appreciate your support. How are you? Someone tell Jason Tatum he's not a point guard. When you say OG only scored 13, this man averages 13. I don't get to watch the Toronto Raptors much. So I guess OG Anunoby is not much of a scorer. I guess he's more of a defender. Looks like regular season OG Anunoby. He averages 10 points, 10.6 a game. He's one of the young stars of the Toronto Raptors. Last year he was injured when the Toronto Raptors and Kawhi Leonard won the championship. But now he's their small forward. And you always hear a lot of great things about him. I guess he's not much of a scorer. Jason Tatum, he had 29 points, but he shot the ball poorly. He shot it 21 times and only made 9 shots. Kemba Walker played really poorly. Although he had 4 personal fouls, he only had 5 points and shot the ball 11 times. Only made it 2 times. So Marcus Smart actually played really well. This game, He scored 23 points. He made 7 shots out of 15, shooting it 15 times. And he got like 11 rebounds, 10 assists. So he got basically a triple-double. Marcus Smart playing really well. Jaylen Brown had 31 points. Shot the ball 30 times, made it 11 times. And our bench, the Boston Celtics bench, didn't really seem to do much. At most, the best player got like 6 points. Of course, it's just the box score. I didn't watch the entire game. Everybody keeps talking about Kyle Lowry. So Toronto Raptors, they win the game and they tie the series. The Toronto Raptors are the 2 seed and the Boston Celtics are the 3 seed. Rebounder, yo, thank you for coming. Norman Powell is better than Fred VanVleet. They just bench him. And Jason Tatum takes all of Kemba's shots. So I guess Jason Tatum's doing too much and is trying to become like the Boston Celtics point guard. Clarence Steggy, thank you for coming. It feels like the Raptors are always going against the Celtics in the playoffs. Yes, it looks like they played them a lot. They're probably very familiar. Speaking of that, pick a point guard. Kyle Lowry or Kemba Walker. Tonight, Kyle Lowry seems like he was the best player, but normally I'll take Kemba Walker over Kyle Lowry. They're both good, but it depends on when you need a defender or all-around player. I believe Kyle Lowry is a better defender, and then Kemba Walker offensively is a better player. We got 2 Pascal Siakams going up against each other. So who do you guys think is going to win, the Boston Celtics or the Toronto Raptors? Who do you think is going to win that series? Game 7. I'll probably pick the Boston Celtics. You say Kyle Lowry. Let me look at their ages. Because I know Kyle Lowry is quite old for a point guard. Kyle Lowry, he's been in the NBA for a long time and has played with Yao Ming when he was a Houston Rocket, and he also was a Memphis Grizzly. Kyle Lowry. So Kyle Lowry is 34 years old. How old is Kemba? Kemba is 30 years old. So Kemba's a younger player. I'll pick the superstar from each team, Pascal Siakam or Jason Tatum. Celtics take W. Pascal Siakam, wait, Jaylen Brown is better. I also really like Jaylen Brown. And I feel like sometimes that Jason Tatum, when he got drafted, he ended up kind of like in the shadow. He kind of took the spotlight from Jaylen Brown, who was their rookie at the time. So I feel like that Jaylen Brown doesn't get enough credit. So Jaylen Brown is way better than Jason Tatum. It looks like right now he is, yeah. Jaylen Brown. But Jason Tatum, he is kind of more famous a little bit. It's kind of the Boston Celtics are seen a little bit as his team ever since his amazing rookie season. So I think that's the reason. But Jaylen Brown is quite underrated, I would say. Now for the superstar, I'll say Pascal Siakam over Jason Tatum. I'll pick him. And it's hard to say because the truth is, I don't get to watch them play as much. Jason Tatum has one attribute, and that's vertical. Is vertical even an attribute at that point? And you say by vertical, you probably mean like his body, his basketball body is like more versatile than Jaylen Brown. Able to adapt to many functions or activities. I just looked up versatile. You gotta go for a while. I'll be back. No problem, rebounder. Thank you for coming. And by the way, rebounder, I actually played your team, and I'll talk to you later about that. So the TW, the baller. So when you trade, the Boston Celtics don't win. Do you think they will trade either Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum? Do you think they play well together? Do you think it's a little bit like Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid that you should trade one of them? In this case, would you trade Jason Tatum and then keep Jaylen Brown as your best player? He's more athletic. He's not more athletic. He only has a high vertical. That's the only reason he was drafted. Neither. So you don't like they need a new coaching staff. So do you like think that Brad Stevens they should they have a new head coach or just hire different assistant coaches to help them? Because right now they're pretty evenly matched teams. They're gonna go to Game 7. I don't think whether one team wins or loses, the Toronto Raptors or the Boston Celtics, I don't think it really matters that much. Like I don't think any of them had a disappointing season. I don't think anybody's expecting them to win a championship. I think we expect the Clippers and the Lakers this year to win the championship. So anything they do is pretty good. So I don't think Brad Stevens is in the hot seat or anything like that. In fact, both teams are quite underrated, I would say. Better game plans that involve everyone rather than one player. Okay, yeah. That's a good take. And looking at the box score, it looks like Jason Tatum, he usually shoots a lot. They are a championship caliber team. So right now I'm gonna go play a game in my league, and DV Dav is intelligent giant. He hasn't been able to make it to the live stream. I'm gonna play against his team. So this is my just a random lineup. And go check out his channel, Intelligent Giant. He makes great creative videos. We're gonna autoplay. So he has Toronto Raptors jerseys. And I have Brooklyn Nets jerseys. Jason Tatum keeps ignoring his call for passes, but you watch the highlights, you will see. Interesting take for sure. As I don't get to watch the Boston Celtics or the Toronto Raptors much. Interesting take. What do you say? You basically saying Jason Tatum's kind of overrated as a player. I'm back, but can anyone tell me what app is good for streaming NBA Live mobile gameplay? Well, I use Mobizen Live. So Mobizen is a screen recorder, and they have Mobizen Live in the Google Play Store. That is one possibility. But most people use Omelette Arcade. So that's also on your Google Play Store or Apple Store. So Omelette Arcade. So we're playing against Intelligent Giants team. So this is not my Boston Celtics, Toronto Raptors team. Intelligent Giants in here right now. But we're going to play against his team. No, he's not overrated. He's overused. Interesting. Very interesting take. I'll ask you a question, DTW the baller. I'll ask you a question. I think your favorite player is John Morant, Memphis Grizzlies. So, do you think John Morant is also overused in Memphis? Because he's their best player and a star player, rookie of the year. Do you think they use him too much? John Morant. Because sometimes when you have one star in your team, for the most part, they get used a lot. Every possession, passing the ball, scoring. So you can make the argument that several players are being used a lot, overused. Mike Bibby with a shot. An Intelligent Giant wins this game in league. So we are able to play against his team. Check out his channel, Intelligent Giant. Makes creative art videos. And then check out the Rebounders channel. Makes great NBA Live mobile videos. Check out DTW the baller. Makes great NBA Live mobile videos. Now we're going to go back and play against this team. Going back to the Boston Celtics lineup. Boston Celtics, Toronto Raptors lineup. My opponent has an Andre Drummond from the previous promo. And he is, in that card art, a Cleveland Cavalier. Overused, like putting Giannis on the Hornets. Yeah, that's a good example. You'll have to do everything if Giannis was on the Hornets. I think you mean that you put a great player on a bad team. Like you put Giannis on the Hornets or Giannis on the Knicks. You have to do everything. She'll be exhausted. Interesting take, though. So DTW the baller, do you think that Boston Celtics can win the championship this year? Or do they need another player, another all-star on their team? Because you say they're championship caliber, but can they win this year? For me, I think a lot of the teams from the East, I don't know why, but I think they're very weak. So I don't really, for many seasons, I don't really believe in the East teams. I always like the West teams over. I don't know why, but I just always like the West teams. I think they're much stronger teams. Because if I was playing against, let's say, the Miami Heat, who are the hottest team right now, and I'd play against a Jimmy Butler who's kind of old, and then you have, yeah, Bam is good, but I don't think that's a very scary team. And then you have Tyler Hero who's playing really well, and then Duncan Robinson and Chris Nunn. But those players do not scare me. I don't know. I feel like they're a little bit. They played really well. Like not expected. Usually, when you have so many rookies on your team, and they have Gordon Dragic, who's a veteran, and all that, he's injured a lot. But I know that a lot of those players in the Miami Heat, I feel like they're right now just playing incredibly well. But I don't know if that lasts forever. So I do not think the Lakers lose to the Miami Heat. Or I don't think the Clippers lose to the Miami Heat. Looks like Clippers are going to make it to the Western Conference Finals. And congratulations to the Clippers. The Clippers, the worst franchise in NBA history. And have never made it out of the second round, out of the semifinals. So it looks like they're going to make it for the first time to the Western Conference Finals. Right now we have Clippers court, as I'm talking about the Clippers. Wait, Giannis overused definitely is overused. They use him. They just give him the ball most of the time. I would say that they could get everybody involved and use their secret weapon, Taco Fall. They will win. I don't think Taco Fall has played much, right, in the playoffs. But if they need a big man, maybe that would be their secret weapon. But I'm not sure if Taco Fall is enough to win, but maybe. As Taco Fall is an undrafted player. I actually think Bobo is the better player. The Heat is good because Gordon Dragic makes the tempo in the game change. I heard he's playing really well, and he's a veteran of the NBA. He's played for multiple seasons, and I believe he's a time All-Star. So, he's a very intelligent and smart player. He is 34 years old, looking at his bio, and he's from Slovenia, the same home country as Luka Doncic. And I believe Luka Doncic and Gordon Dragic have both played for Slovenia national team. Goran Dragic, one time, a couple years ago, his brother was also played in the NBA. Now Goran Dragic and his first few seasons played with Steve Nash. Steve Nash's backup point guard. Houston Rocket. He was traded to Houston Rockets and was their point guard and played with Kyle a little bit. Then he signed with his Phoenix Suns again, 2012. A little bit slow right now. Their point guard again. I believe Goran Dragic demanded a trade around 2015 because the Phoenix Suns were keep losing, and then him and his brother Zoran Dragic, Zoran Dragic, were to Miami Heat, and so from 2000 he's starting. I think during the regular season when he's injured a lot, he's the backup point guard. But in 2018 he was an All-Star, NBA All-Star. The first time All-Star. Taco Fall is actually fast. Now Bobo is way better. Yeah, I think Bobo is way better. Bobo was a McDonald's All-American player and one of the top high school players and top players that heavily recruited and played for University of Oregon. So one of the top college players and prospects, but he got hurt. If he didn't get hurt, he'd probably get drafted higher. And could actually shoot some threes. And Taco Fall, lesser known, but I think he's more of a fan favorite. They're both fan favorites because they're really tall. But if you had to pick a player, Taco Fall or Bobo, I do think that Bobo is the better player. Oh, they're both very tall, so they're centers. But one time I looked up Bobo online, and some websites have him listed as small forward. So yeah, Bobo listed as small forward. So I'm quite surprised by that. But you never know with the positionless basketball and many different lineups. PJ Tucker for the Houston Rockets in their small ball lineup is only 6 feet 5 inches. And he's their center. So James Harden is also 6 feet 5. So the Houston Rockets could essentially make James Harden their center. Anything could happen in the NBA. And maybe you make a Bobo, a small forward. Most teams have bias toward more famous players like Pelicans pick Zion because everyone was paying attention to them. Yes, that's very true. And also, I think it's also because it's a business and those teams, those franchises, they want to make a lot of money. So Zion, the most hyped up player in college basketball since he's basically the most hyped up player since LeBron James in high school and in college. Of course, LeBron did not play in college. So Zion was definitely so. It's very hard not to pick him number one overall. John Morant was a very underrated player and prospect in college. In fact, John Morant played for a mid-major team. So basically, mid-majors in college basketball means that not very famous universities. And John Morant played for Murray State University. And that basically means usually a lot of players that play for Murray State, they don't usually make it to the NBA. Or they make it in the second round, or they get undrafted. John Morant was able to become the second pick overall in the draft and came from Murray State. And usually if you play for Murray State, you're not usually a player that has been recruited a lot in high school. I'm looking at his bio. It looks like he was not ranked by recruiting service like ESPN, 24 Sports, or Rivals. So his only major college offer came from South Carolina. So he played for Murray State, which is like a Cinderella team if you watch college basketball. They're from Kentucky, the state of Kentucky. John Morant's from South Carolina, and I believe Zion Williamson is also from South Carolina. They're from the southern part of the United States. Hey, Austin. Thank you for coming. I appreciate the support. Hello, Austin. Thank you for coming. By the way, Austin, what state are you from? If you're from the United States, what country are you from? I'm very curious. Bobo is small forward. Kevin Durant's like 7 feet tall. Yeah, Kevin Durant's 7 feet tall. So let's say if Kevin Durant was on the Houston Rockets, he would be their center. Well, he's taller than PJ Tucker. And he's long and skinny. The only reason he's not a center is because he's very long and skinny. And the opposite, of course, is PJ Tucker. Very short, but he's very strong and bulky. He's a very tough player. I feel like in today's NBA, anybody could play different positions now. Luka Doncic is playing point guard. Ben Simmons is playing point guard. And nobody's really surprised by that anymore. Back then, people would be quite surprised as they're very tall. Those two players are very tall for point guard. Now, Giannis, if you watch the Milwaukee Bucks, he is basically like their point guard as well. He passes the ball very well. In fact, I wonder if the Milwaukee Bucks will ever just make him their point guard. He's better than Eric Bledsoe. So, that'll be quite interesting to see. Hello, InfoSpot411. Hello, thank you for coming. I appreciate your support. How are you doing? My lineup is the Boston Celtics players and Toronto Raptors players. As today, the Toronto Raptors won the game 6, and tied the series. So it's going to be going to game 7. And both teams are equally matched teams. I don't get to watch them play much, but I'm going to say that the Boston Celtics will probably win because they have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I feel like they have more younger, a little bit more talented stars. Now, there's a lot of people are saying Toronto Raptors. Can they win a second championship? Because they're actually defending championship. They're the defending championship. They're the defending champions. But they're missing Kawhi Leonard. But I do not think they're going to be able to do that. Now, let's say NBA Finals is Toronto Raptors versus the LA Clippers and Kawhi Leonard versus the Toronto Raptors. That'll be a very nice playoff, a very nice NBA Finals matchup. And of course, the bubble in Orlando in 2020, anything could happen. So I think any team could win the championship this year. So there should be full of surprises. Unfortunately, right now, the better team, the higher overall seeds are winning. And you see the Clippers just won tonight. So they're up 3-1 to the Denver Nuggets. There's no upset there. And the Lakers and the Clippers are probably going to face each other. The Houston Rockets, pretty inconsistent team, but played really well in game 1 against the LA Lakers. Surprised them with their speed and their small ball lineup. But it looks like Fun fact, he's not a center because he said he hated being listed as small forward or power forward. Chris Middleton is actually a potential point guard. That'll be interesting to see Chris Middleton as a potential point guard. And good, just got done with my live stream, checking out your live before I go to bed. And thank you for coming, InfoSpot 411. I appreciate your support. And then Chris Middleton at point guard. That'll be quite interesting as well. I usually think I'm seeing Eric Bledsoe play a little bit on TV, and I feel like he's not that good. The first years of the season, Eric Bledsoe had a potential to be an all-star, but right now I think he's quite disappointing, in my opinion. Very disappointing. Now, Giannis, speaking of Giannis, oh, by the way, for DTW the Baller, no, the Clippers, LA Clippers have never won an NBA championship. They never won a championship before. In fact, they never made it out of the second round. So they never made it to the Western Conference Finals. So historically, the Clippers are probably the worst team and worst franchise in the NBA. So no. So it looks like right now today, the Clippers won 3-1 over the Denver Nuggets. So it looks like they're going to make their first Western Conference Finals because of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and all those teams. Clippers, really bad team historically. But if you know anything about the NBA, the Golden State Warriors historically also were pretty bad teams as well. I'm from California, so a long time ago I will call Golden State Warriors the Clippers of the North. But now, of course, with Curry and Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant, Golden State has won many championships. And the Clippers, looks like right now, this is their best year to win. Yeah, it'd be cool to watch the Clippers win it all, for sure. And I've always liked the Clippers. Now, in LA, Los Angeles, the Clippers are like the little brother team, or like the stepbrother. Nobody really likes the Clippers because they lose so many games back then. And everybody is a fan of the Lakers as they won multiple championships. So Los Angeles is definitely a more Laker city, Laker town. But it's nice to see them have a rival. Now, in normal seasons, the Lakers and the Clippers will actually play in the playoffs against each other at Staples Center. So if the Lakers and the Clippers make it to Western Conference Finals in a normal NBA season, they actually have a freeway series, as they call it. And that's the first time they ever would have happened, but because it's 2020 and they're playing the bubble, that's not going to happen. But they would have played against each other, Lakers, Clippers, Staples Center. Now, Clippers are going to move away in a couple years. The Clippers are going to move to Inglewood. And they are not going to play at the Forum like the old Showtime Lakers from the 80s. Looks like they're building a billion multi-year a beautiful building for them. Rebounder, thank you for coming back. I appreciate your support. Charlotte Hornets are a bad team that haven't done much. Yeah, the Charlotte Hornets they used to be the Charlotte Bobcats, and it started in 2004. So yeah, they've been a bad team. And Michael Jordan is the owner of that team now. And people make fun of him because there are multiple losing seasons. And right now the Charlotte Hornets are kind of like a bad, mediocre team that's kind of stuck in the middle a lot. Now they have the 3rd pick in the draft. And a lot of people think that LaMelo Ball is going to be there. And LaMelo Ball is a very hyped up player. As his father was LeVar Ball. And his older brother is Lonzo Ball. So a lot of people think that LaMelo Ball will be drafted by the Charlotte Hornets. And they really need a star player on that team. Would you rather have a championship Kevin Garnett or MVP Kevin Garnett? That's hard to say. So, now MVP Kevin Garnett, he was on Minnesota Timberwolves, and that season he had Latrell Sprewell, Sam Cassell, and they won a lot of games that season. Normally they would only make the playoffs a lot and lose in the first round. But that season they won, they were the best team in the Western Conference. But they lost to the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. That Kevin Garnett was really good. I believe that's Kevin Garnett in his prime. Now, a little bit older Kevin Garnett, a little bit past his prime, but he would be on the Boston Celtics. And that was also a very talented Kevin Garnett. But that's very hard to choose. But I'll probably pick the championship Kevin Garnett over the prime MVP Kevin Garnett. Just because championships are more important. But that's very hard to choose because it's the same player. Same player. Mr. Beast or Kevin Garnett? Laugh out loud. Mr. Beast is a YouTuber. So, yeah. I'll pick Kevin Garnett. Mr. Beast is like top YouTuber on YouTube. I don't really watch many videos from the trending YouTubers, but he seems pretty nice. Then we have Luka Doncic with a layup shot. Marcus Smart with the ball. Marcus Smart was green shoes because he's a Boston Celtic. Makes Luka fall down. Makes Luka fall down. We get a foul. Luka has the ball. I think we're playing against Little Legends team. As usually that's his lineup. Let's talk a little bit about the Clippers. Right now I have the website, Wikipedia of the Clippers. And yeah, a couple seasons ago they had Blake Griffin and Chris Paul. And it looks like they only made it to the conference semifinals, was the second round. And they keep losing in the second round. So 1 year they lost to Spurs. Then they lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Then they lost to the Houston Rockets. So they keep losing in the second round. In some seasons they made it to the first round, but they lost. Now the Elton Brand Clippers from the early 2000s. Corey Maggette and Sean Livingston, a young Sean Livingston. They had multiple losing seasons. And I said before, that's probably why Elton Brand is not a Hall of Famer. Because he only made the All-Star team 2 times because the teams keep losing. And if he's on a winning team, he'd probably be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, he'll be a multi-year All-Star, Elton Brand. That's how good he was. He is now the general manager of the 76ers. But anyways, the Clippers coached by Mike Dunleavy, and they made it to the that season or one season, 2005, 2006. They made it to the playoffs, and they won the first round against the Denver Nuggets against Carmelo Anthony, Kenyon Martin, but they lost in the second round to the Phoenix Suns, Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire. Now, you go back multiple losing seasons, and then 1996, 1997, they make it to the playoffs as an 8 seed and lose the first round to Utah Jazz, lose to Karl Malone and John Stockton. And I believe that coach is Larry Brown, Hall of Famer, and InfoSpot 411. Later would become the Detroit Pistons head coach and win a championship there, that Larry Brown. Then 1991, 1992 season, they make the playoffs, but lose in the first round. That's the Clippers' history. And the Clippers used to be in San Diego, but they moved to the LA area, to LA. Tristan Joshua, Christopher London. I don't know much about those players, but Tristan Joshua was in this game, NBA Live Mobile, for the I just can't talk. Influencer campaign. And so I'll pick Tristan Josh. Fell asleep. No problem. DTW the baller. Thank you for coming. Chris Kaman, center in 2000s LA Clipper, was a great center. Yes, Chris Kaman was a great center and it's very fun to watch. He had long blonde hair and was a very tall player. And Chris Kaman was a 6th pick in the 2003 NBA draft, the amazing 2003 NBA draft. That LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade were drafted in that draft. Now, Chris Kaman is from Michigan, Grand Rapids, Michigan is his city. And he played at Central Michigan University, which is, in terms of college basketball, not very famous university for college basketball, but I believe they're quite good at football, college football. And he's 7 feet tall. Chris Kaman, one-time All-Star. He only made the All-Star team one time. And look up his bio. 2010 All-Star team. He made it, which is pretty amazing. I love when those players that play the NBA for such a long time, they finally make it to the All-Star team. So happy for Chris Kaman. Pick a Kyrie Irving. 2016 Kyrie Irving or Uncle Drew? 2016 Kyrie or Uncle Drew? Uncle Drew is like Kyrie Irving makes commercials for Pepsi, and that became a movie called Uncle Drew. I'll pick Uncle Drew. Uncle Drew, if you see his commercials, he is a much better baller than 2016 Kyrie Irving. Actually, you know what? In this game, in Kyrie Irving, they gave a nickname card called Uncle Drew, I believe. Well, it's the same Kyrie Irving player. It just has his name at the bottom. It says Drew. The same player. I think what they should do is give Kyrie Irving a beard. Give him a beard. And or take Bill Russell and his player and just kind of call him Uncle Drew. Now, speaking of Goran Dragic, my opponent has a 109 overall Goran Dragic. And I haven't really seen much of this card. He's an NBA playoffs fan favorite from a previous promo. He has a 104 3-point shot. It's red, and it's plus 11 boost. A very high. Goran Dragic, he used to play for the Phoenix Suns. He was drafted by the Phoenix Suns. Was the backup point guard for Steve Nash. So you get to see him a little bit. He's a rare card. I would say you don't see many Goran Dragic cards. And he has Milwaukee Bucks jerseys. They have Toronto Raptor jerseys. Pretty cool. And this is the beautiful court, Hoop Dome court. And it's from Canada. And this is where like certain players practice. And then if you look at the art, there's some vending machines in the background and a bench. So pretty simple looking court, but it's very beautiful looking because that orangey color and this kind of this tan looking court. Pascal Siakam, Marcus Smart gives the ball to Jaylen Brown. I'm gonna talk more about the Clippers. Of course, as I said before, they used to play for They used to be in San Diego, 1978 to 1984. They were in San Diego. In 1984, they moved to LA, and they've been there since. Now, back then, a long time ago, they were actually in New York. And they were not called the Clippers. They were called the Buffalo Braves. And that team started in 1970 and ended in 1978 when they moved to San Diego. Now, the best player on the Buffalo Braves, a New York team, was Bob McAdoo. And Bob McAdoo, I think one time won an MVP award. I'm looking up his stats. He's 6 feet 9 inches. I believe he's a power forward. And he won 2 NBA championships he later became an LA Laker. But he won the MVP in 1975. And he made the All-Star team 5 times. He is a Hall of Famer. Inducted in 2000 as a Hall of Fame. Jared Allen or Marcus Smart? I'll pick Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart, a great defender, and he's very smart. He's a smart player. College, Steph Curry or Del Curry? Steph Curry or Del Curry? I'll pick Del Curry because he's in the NBA and was a great 6-man and won the 6-man year award. And Curry is just in college. So, Tony Parker or Steve Nash? I'll pick Steve Nash. I always like Steve Nash better. And Tony Parker's a really good player too. Moses Malone or Karl Malone? I heard Moses Malone's a really great player, but I don't know too much about him. I'll pick Karl Malone. Karl Malone, the second most points in NBA history. Bill Laimbeer or Joel Embiid? I'll pick Joel Embiid because of his offense. Offensively, he's a better player than Bill Laimbeer. Joel Embiid is. CP3 or Westbrook? CP3 or Westbrook? I'll take CP3 because he's better. 34% left in my phone. I'm going to go to the end. LeBron or Kyrie and Kevin Love? 3-pointer. LeBron or Kyrie or Kevin Love? I'll take Kyrie and Kevin Love together. Two players better than one player. 3-point or defensive. I'll take defense. Do you like alley-oops or loud blocks? I'll take alley-oops. I think alley-oops are the best part of the game. Blocks are nice, but alley-oop is much more exciting. Steph Curry or Del Curry? I'll say Del Curry is the better player than Steph Curry. Del Curry, a great six-man and won six-man of the year. Just Steph Curry has not won six-man yet. Iverson or Nash? I'll take Steve Nash. Steve Nash, smarter, better player, more intelligent, and a better leader, in my opinion. Allen Iverson, though, fun to watch. Bam, Adebayo, or Nikola Vucevic. I'll take Bam. Bam right now playing really well in the playoffs. MJ or LeBron, plus Salabrini. The GOATs. Caruso or Luka Doncic. Caruso is very fun to watch now. He essentially is kind of like the Lakers point guard. In fact, he should start. Because I'm trying to log back into the game. But Luka Doncic, of course, is better. Number O or double O. Hello. This is how you pronounce your Makul Guta. Thank you for coming. How are you? And I'm trying to log back into my game. Thank you for coming. And what country or are you from? I like to just curious. I'm from United States and California. Raptors or Celtics? You said, oh, first of all, let me try and answer some of the questions from rebounder. O or double O? I think double O is pretty cool. Like Carmelo Anthony wearing double O. Bradley Beal or D Book? I'll take Devin Booker. Similar players. KD or Shaq? I'll take Shaquille O'Neal. I love Shaquille O'Neal. Ball handles or passing? I take passing over ball handles. Ball handles are just flashy. Raptors or Celtics? I'll take the Celtics right now. Deep three or loud dunks? I'm absolutely fine. Happy to see you're good. Guta. InfoSpot 411. Thank you for coming. I appreciate your support. Have a great night. If anybody's still here, check out InfoSpot 411's channel. He makes great products, reviews, and check out the Rebounders channel. He makes great NBA Live mobile videos. And check out Guta's channel. He makes great videos as well. Pascal or Bam? I'll take. That's hard. I'll try to take Pascal. Rudy Gobert's defense or James Harden's offense? Probably take James Harden. He's a better player. 3 or free, night or day? Tim or Dirk? Tim Duncan, of course. He's won multiple championships. Now we're going to play against these Facebook friends again. Shooting by Curry, blocks by Hawajuan. I'll probably say shooting by Curry. Because that's more fun to watch. Evening or afternoon? I'll probably take the evening. I like the night. Night or day? Pick the night. It's pretty nice the night. If it's a peaceful night, pretty cool. We're in the Hoop Dome again. Playing against my opponent who has Golden State Warrior jerseys. I have Toronto Raptors jerseys. As my lineup is Toronto Raptors, Golden State Warriors. Toronto Raptors and Boston Celtic players. That's today. The Toronto Raptors won. And now they're tied. They're going to go to a Game 7. Mall or supermarket? I like the mall. The mall is really nice. Five championship as a bench player. As a bench warmer. or 0 championship as the best player on that team. I'll probably say best player. I'd rather be the best player on a bad team than just win championships. Dirk or Tony Parker. I'll pick. That's really hard to say. Dirk or Tony Parker. I'll probably say Tony Parker. I like Tony Parker over Dirk because he's French. Gonzalez, one of the girls in the game, makes 0 blocks, 10 points, or 5 points, or 1 block. 0 blocks, 10 points, 5 points, or 1 block. I don't know. Basketball sometimes is an offensive game. Like you see the highlights, usually more offense. I'll say 10 points, 0 blocks is better than 5 points, 1 block. That's because that 10 points is looks a lot better than 5 points. Unfortunately, it's more offensive game. Defense is underappreciated, and you don't hear much about defense. A rebounder, I asked you a question. Who do you think is going to win the NBA championship now? Who do you think is going to win? 0 points. What team's going to win? 0 points but 23 assists, or 19 points but 2 assists? 19 points, 2 assists, I would say is better. Because you have pretty much 23 points and 19. Wait, hold on a second. 23 assists or 19 points but 2 assists. I'll pick the points more. Points is better, I think. You said the Heat were going to win a championship. Harden shooting or Curry shooting? I'll say that Curry over Harden. Pretty close. Ginobili or Simmons? Take Ginobili. Nuggets still have a chance, so I'll stick with the Nuggets. Yeah, the Nuggets still have one more game they have to play, but looks like Clippers are going to defeat them. It'll be amazing if a team like the Nuggets win a championship one day. They still have not won one NBA championship. They're a small market team. It's really sad, the small market teams. Because they drafted all those players. Nikola Jokic drafted in the 2nd round. Jamal Murray, they drafted him as well. All drafted players. They did not really sign many players or trade for many players. So, that's tough. Tough for them. Now, the Miami Heat, a lot of their players are role players. If you think about it, a lot of them are kind of like role players. They don't have a huge star on their team. Jimmy Butler's their star, but he's not. Normally, you wouldn't rank him as the top players in the NBA. You really wouldn't. So he's quite underrated, even Jimmy Butler. In fact, when he was on Sixers last season, right? You would not call him the best player on the Sixers team. You would say Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons are the best players on the Sixers team. So Jimmy Butler would be like your 3rd best player. But now he's like on the Miami, he's their best player. And I feel like they're more of a great team. So they're almost like a small market team, but they're in Miami, Florida. And that's a large market. George Gervin or Pistol Pete? Pete Romanovich. I'll probably say George. I'll probably pick Pete. Pete was a great passer and fun to watch. Nikola Jokic, Karl Anthony Towns. I'll have to take the Joker, Jokic. I like him better. And he's winning too. Andre Drummond 3 or Dwight Howard 3? I'll probably take Andre Drummond because I guess they're both bad 3-point shooters, but Andre Drummond's younger. So, younger and more in his prime, so he's probably going to make it the 3. More likely. J.J. Redick or Duncan Robinson? That's hard to say because Duncan Robinson now is playing really well. But I think this is only his 2nd year. And last year he didn't play much. I'll take J.J.R. Redick. He's a veteran player, and so he's more reliable. Jaylen Brown or Gordon Dragic. I'll take Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown's a really talented player. Hopefully one day Jaylen Brown makes the All-Star team. Hopefully he makes the All-Star team. Gordon Dragic is a little bit older player, veteran player. But I'll take Jaylen Brown. By the way, rebounder, what player do you think will, maybe it's underrated like Jaylen Brown, that will make the All-Star team? Who do you think is going to make the All-Star team? Any players that haven't made the All-Star team yet? How about Jared Allen, a rebounder? You like the Brooklyn Nets. Do you think Jared Allen will make the All-Star team? One day, Jared Allen. Or about Spencer Dinwiddie? Do you think he'll make the All-Star team one day? Yes, twice. Who do you think has a better chance to make All-Star team, Jared Allen or Spencer Dinwiddie? I actually think it's gonna be hard for them to make the All-Star team because you have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving on your team now, so it's gonna be very hard. That's basically two All-Stars right there if they're healthy. If Kevin Durant's healthy, so it's really hard to be the third All-Star on your team. Markelle Fultz with the ball. Makes the shot. Marcus Smart with the ball. Spencer Dinwiddie. Now he's a very underrated player, Spencer Dinwiddie. I definitely know that. He's very underrated. In fact, Kyrie Irving coming there probably hurts him a little bit because like he doesn't get to show off his skills. Spencer Dinwiddie. Markelle Fultz with the ball. Now in this game, Markelle Fultz kind of looks like Devin Booker. You gotta go. Thank you for coming, rebounder. Have a great day. Bye. Have a great day. Now, rebounder, I actually played against your team and I recorded it the first game. So next time, tomorrow or something, try to play against my team. Have a great day, rebounder. I'm still gonna continue live stream. Thank you for anybody still here watching. Pascal Siaka, Spicy P with the ball, misses the shot. Only a couple of seconds left. Now, obvious P today, I played against his team one-on-one. So check out my latest video when I go one-on-one against Obvious P and his team. He also makes great NBA Live mobile videos. So check out our videos that we made together. Check something on my computer. Now we're gonna play against another opponent. He has a Gordon Dragic. And I think I just played against this team before, but I'm going to continue it. Hoop Dome again. Maybe this opponent just played against me. Let's play against this opponent and try to win the game. So checking something on my computer. Now Marcus Smart. He was drafted 6th overall pick. And he was a lottery pick. But now on the Boston Celtics, he's become sort of a role player. A very great role player. A great defensive player. He can play point guard, shooting guard, small forward. So, very happy for Marcus Smart. Now, usually when you're drafted in the lottery, you want to make the All-Star team. He hasn't been able to make the All-Star team, but he has still a very nice career as a great role player on the Boston Celtics. So he should be applauded for that. Hi, Sports Fan Center. Thank you for coming. How are you? Thank you for coming, Sports Fan Center. Hope you're having a good day. Only a couple seconds left. We lose this game. We're going to try to play other teams. It's a little bit frozen right here. Sorry, I was checking something on my phone, on my computer. Looks like it's kind of frozen. That's disappointing. I'm going to try to log off the game and then come back. So let's talk about a little bit about the different Boston Celtic players. A very famous university. He played there for one season. He was a McDonald's All-American, one of the top high school players in the country. And he averaged 14.6 points playing for the UC Berkeley, California Bears. This is only his 4th year in the NBA. I was drafted as a Boston Celtic. And this year he averaged 20.3 points a game in 57 games. Very high point total. He increased his point total by a lot. Last season, he only averaged 13 points a game. In fact, last year, he only started 25 games, so he was the bench player. That's disappointing. Very disappointing. But we're going to continue playing this game. Vucevic with the ball. James Harden with the ball now. Devin Booker with the ball now. Pascal Siakam with the ball. Tiny elf Devin Booker gets a shot blocked. Very disappointing. Very disappointing. Very disappointing. Now we're going to go play another team. Thank you for coming. My opponent has Carmelo Anthony. I think the small ball lineup again. Thank you for coming. We're in the Super Bowl court. Super Bowl. Remember this court? Beautiful court. It matches with Marcus Smart's green shoes. Beautiful green shoes. And you see my thumbnail, I got a picture of Marcus Smart.